welcome to the interview of Natalia. So, please, tell me and the others, just what are you? Who are
What am
you?
I?
Why are
Who am
you?
I? That's a lot of questions there. Oh, but I'll be more than happy to answer them. So, my name is Natalia. I am a cybernetically enhanced felinid tiger, and I like to bake. And I'm also a pre-programmed assassin. Surprise, surprise.
Pre-programmed, so you've got robot parts in your head?
It's a bit finicky to say that, at least. I was part of a Dr. Robotnik program for his comm bots, which were supposed to be like swap bots on steroids.
Oh, I
And
remember
my
those are
associate and
fun.
well, non-canonically, I believe it was in the Archie comics.
Yes.
It was, yeah, anyway. So he was doing that stuff, and me and an associate of mine were hired quite a lot of money to investigate some of his old buildings and bases, and lo and behold, we tripped some sort of device, and we unfortunately both got transformed. He is full on combat. I have no idea where he is anymore. I'm trying to find him, but he was able to save me from being fully transformed. So I still have the augmented limbs, but there was some residual programming in my head to try and I don't know, take down certain Mobians.
Ah, okay,
For
so your brain has been scrambled. It's not exactly a
a little
chip or
bit.
something.
No, there's no robotics in it. It's just the augments somehow fused,
Okay,
and
so it's not
their
as bad
impulse.
as a Dark Legionnaire.
No.
Alright. For those who don't know, a Dark Legionnaire, Dark Egg Legionnaire anyway, uh, they have cybernetic implants put on them, usually unwillingly, and just to make sure they follow orders, there's also a bomb in their brain.
Oh, that
For
just sounds
kids!
that just sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Dark Legion. That DL is not the only. Well, I start thinking of the other Dark Legion, but I don't know if we want to get into that
No, this
stuff.
this is supposed to be about you. I need to know about you so that I can better help.
Help, he says. Isn't it great how he's so convincing to be a good guy?
Yeah. See, I'm glad we both agree.
We'll agree to disagree. But anyway, keep going, good sir.
Actually, you're the one that's supposed to be going. This is your story. Tell me. So this boyfriend of yours, it's a boyfriend, right?
I guess he's more of a brother than a
Oh,
boyfriend, but
it's one of those
I
animes.
I mean we're close. We're close, but
Yes,
now that
definitely one of
he's
those animes.
oh god, you're pathetic. Unfortunately now that he's a full-on combat, he's been trying to kill me more often than not, so I can't stay in
More often
place
than
very long.
before.
Well, I mean before we had our usual sparring matches and enjoyable contests of strength and skill, but now he's just outright trying to off me. And it's not easy when you're trying to stay at a distance from a guy whose primary capability is long range fire support.
Hmm, interesting. So now that we know about his support, what about your support?
My support. You mean what my capabilities are?
Indeed. Tell me what I should watch out for.
Well, as I mentioned before, I'm a pre-programmed assassin. My From what records I was able to uncover about my development, I am a close to medium range combat operative uh what's the word I'm looking for here? Combat capable attack drone. My job would be to sneak into areas, cause as much havoc close range, lots of hack and slash and silence, and whittle down the opposition from the inside out, while my compatriots would fire and suppress them, giving me a distraction to take out vital targets and with some of the innate powers of these limbs, i.e., explosives, cause as much mayhem on the inside as possible. We were not supposed to be fun loving and jokeable like the swap-bots. We were supposed to kill, maim, and destroy. And looking at the research that I had uncovered from some robotics facilities, we were very, very terrifying. And I am really glad he never got a chance to mass produce stuff like us.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, speaking of terrifying, what are your abilities? Your powers.
My powers? I don't have powers like, Sonic or Knuckles with speed and strength. My powers are all technology. So my primary means of combat are vibration claws in my fingers. My right wrist deploys a two-barreled submachine gun, 9 millimeter. My left my left forearm deploys a shotgun. My shoulders, which I am not wearing right now, are micro missile containers. They each have two missiles inside of them. And my tail is a weapon in itself. It's very ambidextrous, very prehensile, and it's given a vibration blade at the tip. So it's quite a deadly little surprise if someone has caught me with unawares. And as I mentioned before, with explosives, I'm able to channel energy through my augments to create explosive charges from something as small as, let's say, a grenade to something as large as, I don't know, a mortar or artillery shell.
So one could say you're a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
So do you have a corkscrew attachment?
Oh my God. No, but I mean, I'm sure I can just find a way to uncork a bottle should it be necessary.
Interesting. Didn't realize you drank that much. Anyway.
Hey now, it's cooking. It's mostly meant for cooking.
Oh,
Besides,
sure.
I'm more of a cider girl. I like ciders and light beers. Wine is good, but I get tanked too hard on wine.
Well, speaking of cookings and stuff, is there any hobbies that I could potentially use against you in some way?
Well, I like cooking. I like
Oh,
driving cars. I don't like flying. Um,
wait, so how does one cook and drive at the same time?
now you're just being silly. You can't cook and drive. That would mean like I'd have to use my legs.
As a
No, wait,
wise
I
man once
couldn't
said,
even
where
use my
there
legs.
as a wise man once said, where there's a will, there's a way. You're just not
Uh,
trying hard
um,
enough.
oh, well, I mean, I'm a careful driver. It's not like I'm gonna start cracking an egg over a hot plate in the car while I'm hitting almost 200 kilometers an hour, escaping egg ponds.
Well,
I
there's your
mean, come
problem. You're
on
doing
now.
it
You,
over
you
plate.
gotta, you got.
Do it on the dashboard.
But no, I don't put those together. Yeah, that's just an accident waiting to happen. But yes, I like cooking. I like driving cars. I like exploring, urban exploring. It's always nice to go into like ruins and cities and dig around and see what there is.
Oh, a
I
grave
also like
robber.
traveling. No, come on now. This is not like Dr. Frankenstein. I'm not Igor. I'm not digging up bodies to build some
Who's
crazy,
what?
creature.
I didn't say that. I said grave robbing, where you
Yeah, that's what
steal.
grave robbing is all about, isn't it?
No, that's
Finding
that's
body parts
that's
to.
that's body. That's grave robbing in the literal of senses. Grave robbing is usually when you steal from the dead. In Frankenstein's
I
case, he was
try not.
stealing their body parts.
Well, I'm trying not to steal from the dead. Most of what my operations have been in urban explorations, just scoping out areas for possible future explorations and excavations. Sometimes, if there's an organization that wants to build in an area and they think there's something underground or in some ruins that could be dangerous, being a Swiss Army knife of combat, I'm the one that, well, myself and Silver, not the hedgehog, a different silver, would often go in to explore and map out and chart areas underground inside ruins so that when the excavation teams go in, they know where to look for and what to watch out for.
So you're saying that would be the place to set up an ambush?
Well, you can't exactly ambush people that know to expect an ambush. You do you think we go into these things blind? Come on now. I've been doing this for 12 years.
so
Just
you,
you watch. You try that ambush. You'll see something really nice. You'll see a nice surprise at your doorstep the next day. I guarantee
speaking
you.
of surprises at the doorstep, you said you like cooking.
Yes,
Details.
I love details. Details. Oh, dear me. Do I have to really
I re-
explain
I
how
regret
much I
my
enjoy
decision.
cooking?
I regret this
Well,
already.
I love dessert. Desserts are like the creme de la creme of what I cook.
Hmm.
But don't think me as a one-trick pony. I like to also cook a fusion of Japanese and Indian style foods because they're actually really easy, and especially when you're exploring lots of ruins and old subterranean stuff, there's not a lot of chances to go to the grocery store, so you have to make do with what you got.
That makes sense.
There's also fish courses, and if I am ever lucky to get a chance to have my special food cart at my beck and call, I can cook any number of street foods that one would desire.
You sound rather passionate about your cooking.
Oh, it's like it's what keeps me going. It's what keeps me going, man. How hard do you think it is to be a robotic limbed freak amongst a bunch of squishy, soft, cuddly Mobians?
Uh,
Sometimes I wonder why I do it still. Why don't I let it succumb and take me over and become the machine of terror that I'm supposed to be? Why? Because I like cooking too much.
that's a weird thing to cling to, but hey, you do you. Keep us not killed by your hands, or what were your hands? So now that we know that little detail, that little snippet, other than your brother slash boyfriend slash anime story plot thing, uh, are there any other relatives or friends that we should be aware of that we could potentially use as bait?
Get it out of this guy. The only person I think that would come close, but would probably turn the bait on you, would be my big Drake friend. You probably know her. That big black Drake character.
Well, well,
Sh
I've seen it, but the people watching this don't, so you might have to explain that a
Okay,
little bit. But we could always
so
do that for another video too, so you don't have to go too far into it.
oh, if you want, I can have her come in next time, and she could tell you the story of herself, so I don't have to gaslight her or anything.
Okay, we can do that. But yeah, so you know of a big black dragon that can crush things easily.
Oh yeah, she goes by Sermina. She's actually pretty cool. She's from a ancient tribe of drakes, not to be mistaken by their winged brethren or sisterin or whatever they're called. Kin, I guess that's a better way to say it. They were very earthly. They're almost akin to echidnas in terms
Hmm.
of how they viewed the world. They protected the land they were on. They very Native American-esque and also very like Aztec. They would do a lot of stone and masonry, diamonds and jewels and emeralds because they were great with carving that stuff.
Okay,
But
okay, okay. I need to
okay,
know about Natalia, not the dragon lady.
okay,
I'll
okay.
drain her brain later. I got your brain in the jar right now.
Oh no. Am
Oh
I an
yes.
actual brain in the jar or am I real life?
No, but it makes
That
me
is
feel
the
better.
conundrum of life.
No, it makes me feel safer though, just by saying it, even if it's a falsehood. Anyway, so those are your only closest friends?
Fortunately so. I
Hmm.
wasn't the most social kitty. I tend to keep close to my companions. Oh, what am I talking about? There's also Mike, a certain bat you might know. He's like my bro. He is my boy. He
You,
is my connected at the hip buddy.
so you got two bros.
I got two bros. I got my bro and I got my cuddly bro.
Wait, which one's your cuddling bro?
Neither or.
Okay, whatever. All right, all
They're
right.
both.
Okay. Okay, it's one of those animes that turned into a hentai. I get it, I get it.
I'm
Anyway,
face hurting so hard right now.
good for you. My brain hurting. Let's see, what else can I grab? Uh, oh yes, of course. How could I forget? Weaknesses. What are your weaknesses? Are you weak to water?
Yep.
Fire? Bullets?
Fire, not so much. Air. I mean,
Air?
I don't know why I'm actually telling you this thing because you've already proven that you're not to be trusted and you want to exploit everything I have. But to give you an example, my sole three weaknesses are water. As a cat, we kind of hate water.
So it's
And,
more of a fear
as a
thing.
cyborg, we're also not designed for water. Number
Oh,
two, flying. I get motion sickness. Who would have thought the girl that loves to drive a car 200 kilometers an hour can get motion sickness in an air? I guess it's because I have no control over it. I
could be
need
the
to have my feet.
turbulence.
Oh, turbulence makes it even worse. Last time I tried getting into the air, I nearly clawed Silver apart. I was so terrified. Thank goodness he has like passive shielding ability. I would have been like digging into his fur at some point.
So what's the
And
third one?
The third one, well, I guess it's a pretty obvious weakness. I'm not very heavy on the durability or endurance.
Hmm,
I'm a sprinter. I'm not a marathoner.
I see. So in other words, I gotta make a cage made out of water and have it high in the sky.
I don't think that'll work.
You don't think I knew it?
Even if you have it high in the sky, as long as you still have a chain connected to it to the ground, I can get out.
All right, fine. Shoot the cage out of a cannon and have it fly. Make sure it's cage made out of water.
Again, physics disproves that. I don't think you
What?
can
What?
do that.
No, no. I believe it's called space. Just have it
Oh
orbiting.
my god.
I don't know about the air thing though. I'll have to figure that out later. Uh, so let's see. We got your weaknesses. We got your strengths. Um, I know you said water's kind of like a fear thing as well as the heights thing. But do you have any phobias? Like, are you afraid of
Phobia?
spiders, snakes, dogs?
Dogs are okay. I think honestly the biggest phobia that I know is snakes. They kind of creep me out. That and
Uh,
cucumbers. Unexpected cucumbers. Not the ones you can start chopping up, but turn the corner, cucumber. You kind of lose your mind after that.
typical cat. Well, now that you've mentioned it, since you're a cat, can you be distracted easily with things such as a laser or a ball of yarn or a feather on a string?
People always wonder why I have those traits despite being a tiger. I guess because I think it's just adorable. And hey, is that string over there?
So that's a yes.
Of
I'll
course.
just make a note here. Easily distractible.
Of course, you got to be careful. I can't always be distracted. If I'm
Yeah.
focused on something, I am going for it. And the fun thing about tigers is we know who we want to plot revenge against. We're very good at that.
Oh, interesting. I'll also make a note of that.
Now, all these notes you're making, are you considering just hiring me at this point to be like some extra muscle? Because if you're willing to pay, I'll be more than happy to work for you. And
What
I
can,
can be one heck of a chef.
what can I say? I just like to have contingency plans in case something goes awry.
Contingency plans.
Yes.
Contingency plans, huh? Oh
Yes, just in
boy.
case you
You're
decide
one
I
of
would.
those people.
Yes. I like to
I guess
imagine myself as Batman, and just as cool.
no man, you
And
can't
somehow just as rich.
you can't be Batman. Batman is a state of mind.
Oh yeah, you tell that to my weasel ring,
Your weasel ring. Oh my god.
my razor ring. Anyway,
Just you have a razor utility
yes,
belt.
I use it to shave. Uh, so let's see here. We have your weaknesses, your strengths, your friends. Um, you don't have any surviving family members, do you?
Unfortunately, no.
Nah, nuts. Let's see. Friends, family. Uh, here we are. Life story. We already know about
Life
your
story.
we already know how you became a cyborg, but what did you do before that and what did you do after that?
Well, it's a bit of a long story. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I was always traveling. I never really had a family. I think as far back as I remember, or maybe because being transformed mussed my brain up. All I remember strongly was traveling around, peddling my goods, baked goods, trying to make some coin as I went. And then when I was traveling through the Wolfpack territories, oh, what a surprise that was. They actually didn't like me for some weird reason. So I got captured. And before I knew it, they were going to do some strange mumbo jumbo, I think, sacrificial thing to me, or
Oh,
maybe some exile or punishment. I can't remember. Point is, Silver, or Silver the Wolf, vouched for me. I don't know why. He was a very unusual fellow, and he was more than happy to like say, "Hey, don't. She means no harm. She's just passing through." Of course, I think there was some bigger plot behind that, and he and I both eventually left together. Can't really say what happened on his end. You'd probably have to ask him if he ever, had the sense to speak again. And then we just started traveling around, and he was a very lucky individual. He would always find things we needed. I don't know if he somehow was gifted by some higher power, but whenever we needed something, it'd be there. And at some point,
Hmm.
we were able to find transportation, so we didn't have to walk anymore. We would drive around, and I was getting better and better at cooking. And we started taking more jobs in spelunking and uh, urban exploration, and just general finding stuff that people needed or finding out areas that were too dangerous. He was pretty good at watching my back, and I made sure to watch his, and that's how we got really close. And you know the rest, leading up to the Robotnik fiasco and finding that base. Ugh, feels like it was such a long time ago when I think about it.
Really?
It's
Because
probably
I
what
remember
now?
it like it
Going
was
on.
yesterday when you told me.
Well, I
Oh
mean,
wait, it was
yeah,
today.
it was today, dum dum.
So what happened after that?
Well, in before I was fully transformed, after he was freshly changed, he basically blew apart the container that was holding me, and I escaped. I ran back to where our truck was parked, scrambled inside, I
Wait,
started driving, and then I just
wait,
never stopped.
wait. So he was fully transformed, and then he broke you out?
Yes, I don't know how. It was sort of probably like some last vestige of his personality still holding on.
Ah,
But he
okay.
was able to aim his weapon at the container that was housing me and blow it apart. I was able to escape.
I see. So then
But
what happened?
well, after I drove for a while, I came across a village, and there were some Robians there, so they're willing to help me out. And I started, just trying to relax. It was hard to figure out what had become of me and figuring out my limbs. And I spent a couple of days there, sorting myself out and learning a little bit about the powers and equipment these limbs had. But unfortunately, it was not long. It was short lived, and Silver found me. But I don't even know if it was him anymore. It's just what he is. It, it only it was almost impossible to realize he was there until the shots impacted, and village hut after hut was destroyed with him nowhere near. And the only thing I really remember was my augments were resonating. It's like he was reaching out to talk to me or could communicate with me, but I couldn't understand a word. And when I did see him, I just felt this heavy hostility, this insane desire to, I don't know, destroy or contain me. And
Kill, destroy, swag?
I guess he's going to destroy this one. I think what he was trying to do is capture me and finish the process, because we're supposed to be, like companion units. So I started. I left. I couldn't stay there. People were dying. I wanted to fight, but someone told me just to leave, to flee, because he's after me. And so I ran, and I've kept running since. Every so often, I'll come across an old Robotnik facility. I'll raid it personally, and I'll find whatever data caches I can, get out, and I have to be careful because whenever I sense the same resonance in my limbs, I know Silver's nearby. I don't know how he's able to track me, but he can always track me. He can always find me. And the closer he gets, the more I can sense him. And if I'm not careful, he will either take me down or anyone near me, which is sort of why I don't have a lot of friends or a lot of people, and why I keep moving all the time, because I don't want to put them in the face of danger like that.
Now, I'm sure you've thought of this before, but what would happen if you replaced your cybernetic parts? Would he be unable to track you then?
I don't know. I mean, they're sort of fused to me, so taking them apart would be incredibly difficult and probably very painful.
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind.
You don't mind. I do. I'd like to keep my limbs attached, please. Besides, they have kept me safe this whole time and, definitely improved my cooking by like 20%, probably more.
Hmm.
Well, maybe I'm being too light. Fuck, man. 100% improvement of cooking. Have you ever tried cooking with robotic limbs? Oh my God, it's amazing. The precision, like the slicing. I don't even need to use many knives anymore. I can use everything in my fingers to cut, chop, slice, dice, and make
Somehow that does not sound sanitary.
it's it's very sanitary, of course. Come on now. I'm a cook and I pride myself with sanitation and being clean. So I'll always like,
And all that oil to slick up the gears. Mm-hmm.
oh
Delicious.
no, no, that's fine. The vibration claws are able to keep it off. They help.
Hmm.
So I have this handled. You're talking to an expert. I've been doing this for a while.
Hmm. So, Madam Expert, please inform us. So you've just been on the run since then, huh?
Pretty much.
So,
I,
is there any more to your story?
well, I converted the truck I was able to get away with into a food truck. So whenever I'm around, I'll usually set up shop
Of
and
course you did.
peddle, of course, and peddle my wares. And I have a dessert cart inside it, so I'm able to serve desserts and coffee and all that fun stuff.
Yes, and leave a trail of eyewitnesses in your wake. Excellent idea.
I guess. I mean, as long as I'm not around, Silver's not going to bother them. It's
Hmm,
only me he wants. So if I don't stay in someplace for too long, it's just he's going to keep guessing. But
I
I
never said
know he goes back somewhere
I never said it
because
was Silver that would be searching, but hey, details.
it's not the hedgehog.
I didn't say the hedgehog. But anyway, so that's kind of where your story ends then. Just still on the run and trying to survive and trying to figure things out.
Pretty much. I know many others who probably have been here or spoken with you have more elaborate and defiant
I,
stories, but that's
currently, I have a total of one. You are number
what?
two.
Oh
You are
wow,
my
flattered.
turd.
Like what?
Turd. Poop. Fecal matter. You're my number two.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Remind me to slap you the next time I see you.
I won't.
Fine,
So,
then I'll just have to remember, engrave it in my mind to plot revenge against a certain weasel.
not if I delete it first. Anyway, uh, so now that we have that figured out, uh, what what do you foresee as the ending for this character? Be it a good ending and then the alternative, a bad ending.
Well, the only two possibilities I see with this character are, well, a good ending where I'm able to find enough information to free Silver and even transform him back, which would be great. Or the unfortunate ending is he either destroys me or captures me and finishes the process, and then we go around the world in a spree of death and destruction programmed with Dr. Robotnik's last wishes of destroying all the Mobians.
But hey, you'll at least be together again.
And in a way, it's almost sounds a little romantic
Oh,
in a death and fire sort of way.
you could be attached to the hip like you said before, but this time you could actually weld it together.
No, you see, let me find the data on that. You see, the two units were supposed to be operating in tandem in that position where they are together. They increase their effectiveness by tenfold. And apparently, something here, tap, 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 tap. Oh, yeah, they can access certain weapons. I can access longer range equipment with him around, and he can access a spear when I'm around.
I regret saying anything.
So, like, I mean, not to toot my own horn, I think that if he did have that, you'd have two very dangerous folks walking around. You know, we wouldn't really be doing much aside from, slaughtering the masses. Which isn't that what you probably would want,
No,
Mr. Evil? No? What do you want? You want to subjugate the masses instead? Well, you can subjugate them with that. Just force
you. I thought
peace
you
through
said you were.
power.
I thought you said you weren't a one-trick tiger, and here you are, spilling out one-trick things.
What do you mean one trick things?
Constantly evil ideas, subjugating, destroying, killing, murdering.
I mean,
Is that
that's
all you
what
can
we.
think of?
Of
Maybe
course
you
not.
are a combat.
Oh my god.
Maybe
No,
those
I can
maybe
think of,
those roboticizations have done a little bit more to you than you realize.
or maybe it's just because I've been researching too much into it. What do you want from me?
Hmm.
Either way, I'm happy with how I am right now. I don't want to have that ending, and I'd much rather find a way to release Silver from his capture and, I don't know, bring the guy back.
Yes, I'd like to find my friend and maybe have him. Maybe let him live. I don't know.
I mean, that's what I'm doing this whole thing for, keeping my distance, keeping on the run, finding data caches, researching about ourselves. maybe find a way to replicate the roboticization process, because I think they keep changing it every time some new doctor, person, evil, bad guy dude takes over and changes their way of turning Mobians into robots. I don't know. There's just so many of them now.
Interesting concept. So why would you need to know how to change it? Are
I
you
need to know how to.
planning on doing that to others?
No, I want to reverse it.
Ah,
But you can only really reverse the one that's been done to you. And considering that was like pretty old tech and Robotnik is no longer around, finding any sort of vestige of his legacy is all I can
maybe
go
in
for.
maybe in your timeline.
Maybe in my timeline, but it's my timeline. I mean, I
Yes.
haven't been able to jump through other timelines just yet. I think that happens later.
Then you could have two silver robots.
Oh my god, that'd be weird. Maybe in another timeline he's not even a robot. Maybe he's just still flesh and bone.
You could have one of each. It'd be a collection.
Oh my god. It's like a bunch of action figures all of a sudden.
And then you have Mike just standing there going, "What about me?"
Oh, he's gonna be there. He'd probably have also alternatives of himself. I mean, the Mike I know, he's a bat, but there's also probably a Robian version of him, or maybe there's a full-on Batkin of him. I don't know.
Hmm.
Mike is Mike. You'd have to talk to him about that in an
Oh, I
interview.
will.
Let me guess. You're gonna tell him not. You're gonna tell him things about what I was saying, right? You're gonna make me feel
What?
bad.
No, that's what the video is for. But speaking of, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to ask while you're here. Uh, the only thing I can think of is the group you were in. Is there a name to that group? Is there any other interesting members?
The group?
Yeah, the group where you said that you'll like go in while the others like do a
Oh
distraction sort
no,
of thing.
we're not a. We're no. That's not how it works. We were just hired as a third party.
Oh, okay, my
So
mistake.
it's ever in any organization. It could be
So
Acorn, could sometimes even be Eggman. He's hired us like twice,
so it could be
mostly just to look
Eggman,
at
Acorn, Gun, the guy off the
yep,
street. Turns out he has a
your
lot of
mom.
money. Oh, my mom is a saint, thank you. She would have you do
Yeah,
some
but
of the best jobs.
I mean, she did have us search out a couple of ruins for you, so I mean, can't complain. She
Act-
pays well too.
Actually, it would probably be to renovate a place. Put the drywall over there.
Renovations. I haven't done renovations in ever.
Oh, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I can't really think of anything. So, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that covered all my bases. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's people with far greater backstories and stuff. Me, I'm pretty simple and I'm
So
just
you don't
making
have
it.
a wiki page?
Not yet. I'm sure
Nah,
at some point I'll get to it.
nah, that's just a joke with people like those who have.
A wiki page.
Yeah, it's like you don't know about my character? Here, read my wiki page. It's
Oh
many,
god.
many pages long.
Isn't there like a fandom thing you can do for that? Like
Oh, there, there's
sort of
there's
like wiki?
there's a lot of things like that, but wiki's just the go-to back in the day. Uh, but no, that's just a joke there.
Back in my day, we didn't have a wiki page. We had a MySpace account.
Back in my day, it was the phone book.
Okay, Grandpa.
Yes. So, anything else you'd like to add, such as plugs?
Lugs. Well, my Twitter is Mitch Wolf of Silver. You can
Uh-huh.
find me there. I
Uh-huh.
have a Twitch with Wolf of Silver, I believe. So you can, but I don't use those very much. I'm not very big on the media presence, but check my Twitter. I think that's the most active thing there because
And
it
you
also connects you to. There should be other connections to my Second Life account and an alternative Second Life account for my RP stuff. So you can find those there.
and anything else like a YouTube channel or a stream service or anything?
No, actually, Twitch was the only thing I really had. I did do Picarto for a while, but I can't remember it for the life of me. So I say best to just stick to Twitch, or not Twitch, Twitter for the moment. And yeah, if you are curious, you can always reach out to me on Discord too.
Okay. And for me, it's Rage Tim Core across the board, but if you're already here, then you already know that. And with that, I suppose we shall bid adieu. Say goodbye, Silver and or Natalia.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
See you around.
Goodbye. Good evening and good night. Farewell.